Hey everyone, Daniel here. I'm just going to read through someone's MyFitnessPal so that we can all kind of get a better understanding of how to read through numbers, what kind of stuff that we look for on MyFitnessPal, places that MyFitnessPal mightn't be very accurate in things. So as we've been talking about in the chat group last week, you just go onto the MyFitnessPal website, www.myfitnesspal.com, log in using your username. It's the same as on the app. All your information from the app will be on there, and just click into food, and then you can look through your diary entries for each day. So for this lady, she's pretty new, so just getting to grip with numbers really on MyFitnessPal, so maybe it's a good one for us to go through. So just looking at last Friday for her, I'm straight away, I scroll to the end, so I see her totals for that day. So her carbs were 71, her fat was 61, and her protein was 67. So not an ideal day. Carbs are the highest, and carbs should always really be the lowest. So straight away we have to say, right, what's going on? So using the website is great because I can see everything. I can see what she had for breakfast, and right next to each option that she's entered, I can see how much carbs, fat and protein was in it. So for breakfast she had eggs and mushrooms. That's all good, no problem. Carbs were 4 grams for breakfast, fats were 5, protein was 8. That's fine, all good there. So then for lunchtime, she had some goat's cheese, salad, rocket, nuts, some balsamic vinegar, and half a pear. So that half a pear has absolutely just really thrown her carbs way up. So remember, her carbs for the whole day are 71. That half a pear is 14 grams. That's 3 spoons of sugar. I mean, that's 2 or 3 bites of a piece of fruit. It's not going to fill you at all. And it's a basically spoon of sugar per bite, basically, in half a pear. So not worth it, not worth the sugars, and that's what has really put her day out. That's one of the things. So that's why, look, we don't include fruit. In the first week, maybe a small bit, but that's why we don't put in fruit long term. So obviously then, in terms of her fats at lunchtime, the goat's cheese is going to be high, and the nuts are always going to be high fat. Now she's not trying to go low fat, so that's fine. She's still pretty new. 61 grams, she hit 61 grams of fat on Friday, and that's fine. That's what we would call high fat. Many of you are under 50 now grams every day, but that's fine for her. Now she'll be taking them down soon. So then dinner, just looking through everything. So her total carbs for dinner were 24, her total fat was just 2 grams, and her protein was 30. So that's actually a fantastic meal there in terms of fat and protein. And it's because her main meat choice was a chicken fillet, a lean chicken fillet. So the fat was only 2 for that chicken fillet, and the protein was 27. And that's exactly why we say when people are trying to eat lean, they should be eating lean chicken fillets as well as turkey and lean beef, because it's just so lean and it's really, really filling. So that's basically where her only fats and proteins were anyway for that meal. So really good, low fat and a good amount of protein there. And then her carbs were 24, as I said. So then let's look at the makeup of them. There was a seasoning mix. Old El Paso, that was 8 grams. Big chunk of the 24 there. Obviously, maybe that's not a good seasoning mix to use, obviously. So there must be some sugars added in there. They do this. The best thing to do would be to look at the spices and herbs they use on that packet of seasoning, and then just replicate it at home with your own spices and herbs. And obviously you won't be adding the sugar, so and spices and herbs have 0 carbs. So basically that's that. If she had done that, that would have took 8 grams of carbs off her dinner, which would have been great. The remainder of the 24 then was a few for peppers, and a few for tomatoes and stuff like that. But basically it would have been a fine dinner if she didn't have the old El Paso seasoning mix. Then her snacks. So her snacks were really high in sugar and fat. So 25 grams of sugar in her snacks and 36 grams of fat. So where were the sugars? Let's go through them first, the carbs. So she had a flat white coffee. 9 grams of sugar, that's 2 spoons. Really high. That's why we don't do a lot of milk and stuff and coffees, just a drop, because that's 2 spoons of sugar. So between that and the pear, that's actually 25 grams of sugar. Really high, and it doesn't fill you. Coffee doesn't fill you, and the pear doesn't fill you. So these are unnecessary sugars. Some dark chocolate obviously is going to add some sugars there. She had her fats are really high with her snacks, and the main culprit obviously is going to be, well, dark chocolate is one of them, but the main culprit is the walnuts. So nuts are very high fat. You only have them on your high fat days. It was 20 grams of fat there for her, just for a quarter of a cup of walnuts. So fats can go a bit crazy with nuts. Overall, her fats and proteins weren't bad because of her being a new person. Fats are over 61 for the whole day. Protein, ideally, yeah, she would have had some more. Like an extra portion of protein in there would have been great. Her breakfast was only 8 grams of protein. Her lunch was only 11. Her dinner was good at 30. So if for breakfast she had, let's say, some ham with the eggs, that would have got her into a good amount of protein then for the day. So that's ideally what she would do there. So I hope that's helping you to understand things a bit more. If you have any questions or anything, give me a shout. I can do this, you know, for a lot of people. You know, I can go through your MyFitnessPals and help post it, because making sure that you understand how to look through your MyFitnessPal and understand your numbers. This is what's going to ensure your good results. It's going to ensure you know what we're doing and you're not just following a plan that you've been given. You want to make sure you're doing this for yourself. It's going to keep you accountable each day, because you're looking at your numbers, not waiting for me to tell you if you've done good or bad. And also it's going to massively help when we finish, for you going into maintenance. When you understand your numbers, once you understand your protein, fats and carbs, you can't do anything but maintain. It's so easy to do because you're totally in control, and that's what we're trying to achieve. And everyone's doing really good, fantastic last week in the challenge. So let's have another good week.